Sorry. I know. I know. It's been too long. Yeah. I don't know how to make an intro. I feel like I owe you an apology for being absent for so long. I've got so many comments from you asking me how I've been. I even got an email from YouTube itself, like asking me, where the fuck have you been? Basically. Where have I been? I've been busy on a few different fronts, and that's part of the reason why I haven't been posting on a more regular basis like I used to. But also, I'm just a little bit tired of making educational content. I think I made a lot of it, on the channel. And yeah, just looking back, it feels like a lot of it has been filler, which I don't particularly like doing. But everything's good. I haven't quit YouTube or anything. I'm just kind of figuring out what I want to do with it. And I'm still very grateful, don't get me wrong, to have this platform. And I realize how fortunate I am to have you guys. But please bear with me as I figure this out. So basically what I plan to make for today is some more filler content, which is kind of true, yeah? But I just thought it would be, I don't know, just a good opportunity for me to kind of tune in, say hi, everything's good, and hopefully you'll see more of me soon as I figure these out. What I thought we could do for today is just bring you on a trip down memory lane with me and kind of revisit some of the stuff I've done in the past, like when I first started composing, and maybe have a look at my more recent works and see if there has been an improvement. Hopefully there has been. I just thought some of you could find it inspiring, just to see that, I haven't always been, good at this. So I dug some stuff up from an old hard drive, and I thought we could start with this little thing I composed in 2016 when I was back in uni. I think we had a semester of composing and arranging for TV and stuff. And what I'm about to show you is basically one of my very first attempts at composing something that doesn't suck. I haven't heard this in quite a while, so it's going to be a surprise for myself as well. So brace yourself, here it goes. Alright. Not bad. Just one thing. Why did I... Look at that. Look at the hit point. That could have been so easy to get right. How it's not... You see how it's not hitting whenever in the right place? We are on a sustained note. Why did I not get that right? Is maybe like a second late. It's a minor thing, but that's surprising. I was clearly into... obviously the visuals kind of tell you something about the style you may want to be compose the music. But I was clearly influenced by Elfman back then, I think. So let's continue. Let's see what happens. I think this was for an exam or something. That's nice. Alright? It's not bad. It's a bit of a... I don't quite get why I picked the instruments that I picked for this one. I think my idea for this, if I remember correctly, I think my idea was having some sort of communication between the two. And the bassoon basically represented the girl, I think, and the harp represented the guy. I don't quite know why I picked, like, probably these days I would swap them around. I would pick the harp for the girl and the bassoon for the guy, for obvious reasons, right? Like, the harp has a more delicate kind of tone than the bassoon, and bassoon is a lower, you know, register instrument. I don't quite know why I went with this. So I think my idea was, yeah, you see her, you hear the bassoon, then you see the guy, and the harp takes on the lead. And then when they meet, no, that doesn't, you see, that doesn't make any sense. We still have the guy kind of walking around, and the bassoon takes over again. And when they eventually encounter each other, you should hear the melody basically played in unison. But I don't think it's executed well. I think it's a cool concept, it's a cool idea, but I don't think it's done well. And I don't know why I picked the harpsichord for that. Like, probably to give it a more quirky kind of feel. Let's see what happens next. Yeah, that was not necessary. That's nice. So yeah, basically, I can tell why I did that. We basically have a more playful moment, so I switched to like a 3/4 time signature kind of thing to basically like a waltz, right? Like a minor waltz. The transition is awful though. This is like textbook how not to use runs. I could have just held the note, you know, like a sustain with like a harp glissando, that was fine, and maybe like a cymbal swell, like you hear that, you know, the harp run, the woodwind run is just distracting, yeah? It just doesn't add anything to the story or the music. That's too much. It's still pretty early for something like that. And also, something I'm not quite liking is how we go into this militaristic kind of vibe with the trumpet and the snares. That doesn't really make any sense. Nothing about, you know, the picture tells me to go into that kind of territory, and it's just, it calls a lot of unwanted attention on itself. Why? I could have kept this. I should have kept developing the piece that we had before. You know, the 3/4 kind of thing. It's just too different of an idea, and they kind of feel disjointed. I like that I still keep going back to the main idea of the thing. I think we had it at the beginning as well. On the title, right? kiss, that could be the climax of the, of the scene. I don't know why I decided to do a decrescendo. Probably because I kind of wanted to, just kind of lower the intensity into the next scene, but I didn't quite know how to do it, so I went into the decrescendo way too early. But there's plenty of time. Right? Bit of silence, nice. Ooh. What? Why? Why? Wait. Yeah, there's no reason to accent that. Like, no reason. I like this part. I like this part, but like I like the music, but I don't think it necessarily fits the picture dramatically. It doesn't make any sense. It gets really intense for not much of a reason. Here particularly. I mean, there's no reason for that. Like for the Matrix, chords that like I mean, she just sees the fake butterfly, that's all, like there's no reason to take such a dramatic approach. I think this is one of the most common, beginner mistakes, kind of making the music over dramatic and trying to hit every single little thing that happens on picture without letting, the picture kind of speak by itself. You're trying to kind of manipulate the audience, but not in the right way, I'm a bit bored of this. Should we... Why did she die? I mean, I suppose it's not easy when something develops, when a story develops over such a short period of time to kind of make the music evolve naturally. There's no reason why I should have had a higher intensity, music over here when they kind of fly in the sky, and here when the guy is mad, just throwing stuff around because she's dead. Kind of have a lower intensity. It doesn't make any sense. think that's nice. Jesus. Alright, so I went with something creepy at the end. It's just sad. Like, you see what I mean? Like, look at the guy. The guy is just sad. It's not necessarily creepy that he just created a robot version of her. All right. So that was one of my very first attempts at like composing something to picture. I don't think it's all that bad. It's just a bit. It's not very mature, but it didn't have to be in 2016, you know. So it kind of makes sense that I wouldn't really know what to do. But I like the intuition of it, you know, of kind of having a theme and developing it over, you know, the 6 minutes of footage that you get, and have all these different kind of versions of it. I don't necessarily agree with some of the choices, but I think overall, at least I had a plan. Let's put it this way. It's not a well executed plan, but I think at least I had a plan. So let's have a listen to something else, maybe from the I don't know. Let me just dig a little bit into the archives and see if I can find something. There's not gonna be much to picture, but this was one of my attempts of kind of doing a transcription of the Final Fantasy X theme that you saw me doing a few months back on this channel. Actually, I think it could be nice to compare the two, just to see the difference, really. Piano sounds good. It's very robotic. I think I got the parts right, but the mock-up is not fantastic. Let me compare it to the more recent version. I think I may have to get it from my YouTube video, because I don't think I bounced that one. It's a summer night in 2000. Shut up. You see what I mean? You know, the piano actually sounds okay. Let me compare it very quick to the original, to the one from 2016. It's very robotic, right? So here's the new version. At least I got the notes right though. The mock-up is night and day difference. I got the notes right, I think, or at least some of them. Here's the old version. I mean, I suppose that's fair, because at the time I was just experimenting with what I had, really. I was sharing a hard drive with some friends and using some of the sounds that I had available in uni, so I didn't have all of the stuff that I have now. So that's fair that it wouldn't sound as good. But I think it's interesting for sure. let me see if I can find something else. I think that was an interesting year for me, 2016, because I was, you know, in my last year of uni, and I was learning a lot of stuff, you know. I was really getting into composing, and just maybe I liked the idea of kind of having some music placed in TV and something like that. So I really started to kind of, you know, try and practice. In fact, when I finished uni, I remember kind of working on a few tracks, 4 tracks to be exact. I took pretty much all summer, like 3 months, to work on these tracks that I then wanted to kind of start sending to publishers and things. So I worked on that short portfolio, tried to make it sound as good as I could. And I remember I came up with this thing, which I still think sounds pretty good. I haven't heard it in a while, but I have a good memory of this piece. So that was the summer of 2016. Let me try and dig that up for you. That should be it. You see that I really liked Elfman. It's simple, but I think it's like, it's an interesting kind of vibe. That's cool. I did not write that line. I did not write the vocal line there. She kind of improvised it. I still remember. I really liked Why the fuck did I put it so low in the mix though? That's just a mystery to me. The coolest thing about this piece is something I did not come up with. So that tells you something about the music, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so basically this is it, really. This is the piece. I had this one alongside with this one, which is not quite as interesting, but it's okay, I suppose. Once again, super simple. Pianos, marimbas, simple stuff, you know, because I did not have the tools, you know, to kind of get complex, right? So I think these 3 or 4 tracks that were in my portfolio in 2016 are actually alright, and I have a suspect that if we listen to things that I was trying, maybe even like a couple of years later, you would think, you know, you get better over time. But I was still kind of experimenting quite a bit. I have a suspect that if we jump into something that I made a little bit later, maybe 2018 or 19, the music would probably get worse because I was getting more confident, maybe experiment more, you know, just kind of get some libraries, maybe buy some libraries that I didn't necessarily know how to use. So I have this suspicion. So maybe let's move on from 2016. That I think it was a pretty decent year for composing, you know. And let's go into something a little bit more recent, maybe... I don't know, let me just pick something. Oh yeah, this is terrible. Let's have a listen. I just want to try to find something that's really bad, yeah, because there's plenty of it. This was not approved, so... Yeah, so, I don't know, like the more orchestral the music gets, the more kind of falls apart. But you can probably tell that I was already liking a lot of the stuff that I like today. I think every now and then I would get lucky and kind of find something that works surprisingly. Like this track, for example, that I think I still have on my YouTube. Let me have a quick listen. What is this? Yeah, I think this sounds pretty nice still. So yeah, I think I was okay at writing, music with a more pop-like structure, which is still something I kind of tend to do now. But whenever I ventured into things that were a little bit more kind of orchestral with a more free form, that was when things started to fall apart. I think I was way better at writing music that wasn't orchestral, and that's no surprise considering where I come from. Like I'm a guitarist, and the kind of music I listen to is, pop rock. Still to this day, I don't really listen to much orchestral or film music score. So whenever I did something like this, I think it always kind of turned out better than the stuff that you know me for, right? So let me have a quick play for you. Right? I think it's a cool vibe. I mean, I kind of ripped something off there, I think. I get a feeling that I did, because it's a bit too clean, but I think I was better at creating a vibe more so than creating like an orchestral piece, which is something I've really wanted to learn to do, like desperately wanted to learn. So that was 2018, a couple of cues. Let me see. Let me jump into 2019, see if we can find something cool. Yeah, this is some of the stuff. I think that's when I started my YouTube, right? Because pandemic was 2020, so a lot of this you'd probably be a little bit more familiar with already. Let me play you a little bit of this one. I think this one is also it's not great. The execution of it, at least. So let me see what we have. So I wanted to write a waltz. I think it's a good tune, but I don't know. It's not a great mock-up for sure, and kind of lets the piece down a bit. Notice how it gets empty over here. We have this kind of crescendo into the repetition of the A theme, and then kind of we lose a lot of bottom end for some reason. So it's a bit anticlimactic. Have a listen. Right? So it feels like it's lacking something, and all of the kind of moving parts are not. They could be tightened up a bit just so that they support the harmony a little bit better. And I have the sketch for this one, and I think it would be interesting to listen to, because if you listen to the piano version, you see that, I don't know, this tune has more potential than the way it's being executed. So this is the piano. That's nice chords, yeah. It's a bit sad that the piano version works, but just piano itself works better than the actual orchestrated version, you know. And I probably spent a lot of time on the orchestration of these, because remember, you know, I was trying to get them placed in TV and stuff, so I would, you know, kind of try and clean them up as much as possible, make the mock-ups as good as possible to get the music approved by publishers and things of that sort. So yeah, I probably spent a lot of time, but the piano version, the sketch, still sounds better than the orchestration. I should have rolled with the piano, to be fair. It would have probably got more use than, you know, the actual mock-up. Or I could have hired a pianist and get it recorded live. That would have been, you know, a cool piece of music to have, but I did not do that, unfortunately. So that was 2019. I've got more stuff from the same year, which, I don't know, let's have a quick listen to this one maybe. Just too many things. You see what I mean? You see when I said before that, you know, the more pop-inspired tracks with a tighter kind of structure, they make a lot more sense than these, you know? Because all these little gestures and things I put in between the phrases, they're not helping the music in any way, in any sort of way. It's just kind of distracting, you know? You get these idea... like, listening back to these now, it gives me an idea of a controlled mess. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, where you have all these kind of things that kind of seem a little bit random, but they weren't random in my mind. There's some good stuff in here, you know. Each single little moment by itself could be, I suppose, could be like a decent idea, but I'm trying to put jam too many things into a single piece of music, and that's never a good idea. Again with Elfman, you know, Batman. So yeah, I mean, there's no point of continuing. So that was 2019. Let's have a look at 2020. 2020. What do we have? I've got a bunch of bad ones here as well. This is pretty terrible. I remember still. My first attempt at doing something kind of actiony. I had to go through a bunch of revisions to get these approved. I remember, and it was never quite there, really. That's a cool intro. Yeah, that French horn is dodgy. I think I just got sample modeling back then, and I tried to use it for the first time on this tune. So you can tell there's a learning curve. Yeah, all of the lead parts are not great. Yeah. Enough. It's just painful. It's painful to hear this one, but I hope this could be inspiring for somebody. You know, we've all got good moments and bad moments. So, and that's the case for me as well. Like, writing music for me is hard, just like it is for anybody else. Let's have a listen to something different. Oh, let's have a listen to this one. This is different. There's a bunch of guitars and stuff, and I'm better at doing these sorts of things than the orchestral things, once again. So it's loud. It's a good tune. You know what I mean, right? Like, I think you'll all agree that these pieces of music that are less orchestral, you know, and are more normal, for lack of a better word, kind of sound nicer than anything I ever did up to this point that was orchestral, you know, because I was still kind of experimenting a lot, and every new piece of music was a good opportunity for me to kind of learn something new. So I was excited to try a bunch of stuff that I kind of learned by either transcribing or kind of listening to some music. So yeah, I would basically just kind of try something new each time I was writing a new piece of music. But this stuff, you know, the more normal music, was the kind of music that I was used to making already. So it's no wonder that it sounds better than the less experimental. So let me jump ahead a bit. I like this still, you know, and I see a lot of myself in this piece of music. Let's have a listen to this one. This is also not orchestral. That's really cool. That's much more inventive than anything orchestral I ever did. I mean, you get the idea. I don't have to play all of it. So that's so 2020, 2021. Let's see what we've got. I mean, you'd probably be familiar with my skill level in 2021 because I was already making YouTube videos and stuff. I think I got BBC in 2021, and that's when I kind of decided that I wanted to step up my game, really, and when I was making more tangible improvements on the front of more orchestral, you know, music. So there's a lot of things I've done that you can find on the channel as well. For example, this is one of the demos I shared like way back. I mean, that's a pretty considerable improvement from the action cue that I played before. That was just 1 year before, you know, and that maybe shows that I was really starting to put in the time, and that's no surprise. I mean, like, we had COVID and I didn't really have much to do other than kind of messing around with music and trying to learn some stuff. So that was one of the demos for the BBC library. It was never official, yeah. It was just a fun kind of project I decided to do. What else have we got? Let's see. This is a bit of a mixing between my more orchestral music and the less orchestral. So I was kind of trying to do something retro with some pianos, guitars, and a little bit of woodwinds, and you'll hear it. You know what I mean? right? So it's not fully orchestral, and I still found this sort of music easier to write compared to anything else, really. Oh yeah, that was an interesting year. I did a bunch of live stuff, I think, in 2022. I've had this a couple of pieces of music recorded with like a big band. So here's one of it. I'm not gonna play all of it because I'm probably gonna get demonetized anyway, because that's how it is when you have published music. Doesn't matter if you wrote it, the publishers still get the rights. I still like this one. There was a solo section on this piece where like all the instruments are trading. I remember having fun writing that one. So, yeah, it's so strange how, I'm known on my YouTube for the orchestral stuff, while I probably still feel more at home with these more normal kind of styles of music, kind of pop rock or like jazzier inspired, jazz, blues, more normal, kind of music, not necessarily like media, huge film scorey kind of stuff. So that was one of them. I've had another one. I think we recorded 3 cues for like a swing album. I can't quite remember the titles. Oh yeah, Dance With Me. That was another one I did. I remember there was a cool trumpet solo in the middle. Oh yeah. Not bad. I mean, I was learning, and still learning, a lot of stuff. But when I was submitting music to publishers on a consistent basis, I was learning a lot of stuff. And you can't see my folder right now, but you see that from basically 2019, where I only have really a few files, up to now, these folders are getting like full of music. This one I've got so many tracks. It's endless. It's hard to pick one, actually. And a lot of it, of course, kind of gets thrown away because you either get stuck, or you don't quite know how to develop, or you figure out halfway through that it's not as good of an idea as you might have thought. So what's this one? This is called Sketch. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so it's a bit of a mixed bag of different things, right? And I think 2022 was also an important year for me, because it was when I developed my course. And of course I had my composition course, with Master the Score. And of course I had to kind of step up my game, you know, to do that. And I wrote a lot of music for that course, and I remember I spent ages on a single track that was basically a walkthrough that I've got at the end of the course, which had to consist in a more complex kind of cue in a John Williamsy sort of style. And I remember I just spent forever on that one to get it nice and tight, you know, to get the structure tight. Because I still feel like, you know, up to that point, structure had probably been my weakest point. Of course, I had some phases where my mock-ups were not all that great, and that's probably true for everybody, right? But structure has always been, I think, one of my weaker kind of points, right? Just kind of throwing everything at it and hoping that something kind of sticks, and you end up with a piece that is a bit all over the place. So let me try and dig that up for you. I think I do have it on my website actually. So mattiachiappa.com. Yeah, I mean, I think this is still probably one of the coolest things I've ever written, but obviously there's the element of time, you know. As I said before, I spent a lot of time on this one, and it probably shows, yeah. Yeah, you get a lot of moments like that where it feels like there's a lot of development, and there are these kind of gestures that are different from each other, but they're all connected in such a way that they make sense with each other, which wasn't necessarily the case with some of the earlier stuff that we listened to, particularly the action cue. You know, that was shocking, how bad that was. It's a piece developed on quite literally one or two ideas, but they keep repeating in interesting ways and predictable ways, sometimes unpredictable. But I think it feels much more balanced than anything really I've ever done up to this point. There was a cool moment in the piece I want to find. Bit of Star Wars. You see, still same idea. Yeah, so you get the idea. I think, you know, I probably peaked with this one. I don't know that I had any substantial improvements since then. Because if we go into 2023, I've done a lot of stuff in 2023. I don't think there's much that I can show you, to be completely honest. In 2023, I kind of got back into transcribing a bit, and there's a lot of that on the channel. But I also started to get a little bored with the purely orchestral stuff. And that's basically the point where I'm at right now, where I feel like I have these tools that I can use if I like, but I don't necessarily want to use all the time. It would be nice to show you something from this year, but I don't think I have a lot to show. I mean, with the exception of my latest video, you know, the JRPG video. Actually, let's play a little bit of that just for the fun of it. These I really like. the fusiony kind of track. There are some cool moments, I think. So, okay, so to conclude, what was the point of this video? I don't know myself, if I'm completely honest. I guess I just kind of wanted to show you that, you know, there are a lot of failures, you know. For one success, there are 10 failures, if not more. And what you don't see behind closed doors is a lot of hard work, you know. You learn a lot from experience, you know, trying to keep up with the demand. And you probably see how, you know, I learned a lot. I learned more on my first year of composing, you know, when I started to publish, to kind of submit music to publishers and music libraries and stuff, than I did, you know, after that. You know, after a bit you kind of plateau, I suppose, and that's kind of normal. But I don't know. I think it's always important to kind of try to be objective to where you're at, and see your music for what it is, really. Yep. So I hope somebody will find this inspiring or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, I suppose this is it for today. Let me know what you guys think. Once again, apologies for not sharing much content lately, but I'll figure it out, I promise. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye.